Special interview edition of Weber State Weekly. I'm your host, Colby Peterson, Weber State Weekly, a member of the Big Sky Podcast Network, and I am joined tonight by Weber State head volleyball coach Jeremiah Larsen, also reigning Big Sky Coach of the Year. Coach Jeremiah Larsen, thank you so much for chatting with us a little bit about the volleyball team. We got a big season coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So we're excited about what's about ready to happen.
Yeah, we are very excited too at Weber State Weekly. You know, we watched a lot of matches last year. Super excited to watch the ladies perform at the highest level in the NCAA tournament, take down Bowling Green in the first round, and then run up against a very good Wisconsin team. Got a front row seat to one of the best teams in the country, and just had a great time playing and just living it up. So, Coach, before we get started, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the fact that I mentioned in the intro, you were awarded. You were the guy last season nominated by your peers as Big Sky Coach of the Year. It's been a few months now. You've had some time to process that. Talk to us a little bit about what that meant and kind of what it means going forward into this season, if it means anything at all.
I mean, it's hard not for it to mean something, you know, like I have tremendous respect for the coaches in the Big Sky Conference. There's some really good volleyball coaches in our league, and for them to feel like I did a job that was, I guess, worthy of being Big Sky Coach of the Year is humbling, to say the least, because I look up to a lot of those coaches in our league. Daniel Jones is doing a great job at Montana State, Ken Murphy, Lindsay Oates, who's at Northern Colorado, Ruben Voltak. I mean, I can go down the list of all the really good volleyball coaches in this league. And so for them to, I guess, award me that is humbling, and it's a nice accomplishment for sure. And I couldn't have done it without my volleyball players. And so for sure, it's humbling all the way around, thinking about my players and thinking about the people I surround myself with. So,
Yeah.
But that last year was last year, you know, so now it's time to go back to work.
Right. And I thought you would say that, listening to your interviews last season, especially during the tournament, you know, Mary Louise Cook grabbing you in between at the end of matches and talking to you a little bit. I was like, I think I kind of know how my thinks, but definitely a nice honor. And especially said the Big Sky Conference is no slouch when it comes to volleyball coaches. We've got some good ones in the conference. And so for them to express confidence in you, and especially to help the ladies get to where they were last season and really just kind of just mow through whoever was in front of them. It was really something to watch. So we've told you before, but we wanted to, say it here. Congratulations on that, because it's an accomplishment, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it seems like a forever for us to get to this point. So we're going to enjoy every minute.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about that, because right now Weber State volleyball, I'd say, is at the top of the mountain. The rankings came out today, and Weber State was voted number 1 to be, the best team in the conference this season, going into what should be a normal fall season. Hopefully we'll see. Every single coach except for one, and from what I understand, the rules are you can't vote for your own team. So everybody said, yeah, Weber State would be the best. And so when you saw those numbers, or when you saw that poll come out today, talk to me a little bit about that. Like, what did it feel like? Because it feels like the culmination of a lot of hard work, years and years of hard work.
Yeah. Once again, it's humbling because I respect so much of our coaches, and I think there's a lot of good volleyball teams in our league that probably deserve that as much as we do. So it was just more of a reflection of what we did last season, and the understanding that Caroline Broadhead was the only starter that we lost. And so I think that's a reflection of our team and who we have coming back. But I mean, Northern Arizona is a really good team, and Sacramento State and Montana State. I can go down the list. Some really good volleyball teams in our league that could easily be the first pick in our conference and win this conference. So we know that the mountain ahead of us is a lofty one, and so we're not taking that ranking for granted, and we're going to go try to earn what we have.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of good teams. Northern Arizona, one of the few teams to hand Weber State a loss last season, and so they're knocking on the door. They're a good team, and we'll be facing them twice again this season. The Wildcats will, but a nice thing to see on a Wednesday as we get ready, and so you're able to hop on, talk to Mary Louise Cook from the Big Sky Conference this afternoon. Folks, if you haven't seen that interview, go check it out on social media. It's a really good one. Mary Louise always does a great job, and so if you want to learn more kind of about their conversation, go check that out on social media. I'm pretty sure the Weber State Volleyball social media has already, reshared, retweeted, whatever, that interview. So I told you in the intro, appreciate you doing this because I know you've already done one today.
Yeah,
But
it's my pleasure.
yeah, so now let's talk a little bit about what's going to happen going forward, because of course we have the purple and white scrimmage, which will be on Monday in the Swenson. We talked about that in our live stream on Monday night, folks. If you didn't see that, just so you know, the volleyball team will be playing each other. It's very, very much like any other scrimmage that you'd see about basketball, football. They do the same thing with spring ball. The team will be playing each other in the Swenson. First time we've got to see you all live in a long time.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I mean, our kids are excited about playing in front of them more than their parents. That's for sure. That's all that was kind of allowed last year. And so, yeah, we're excited about finally getting to play in front of other people and get this thing rolling.
Yeah, definitely. And so it's free. We noted that. So just come up to the Swenson and check it out because it's going to be a good atmosphere. The Swenson is going to be absolutely rocking. I've said that on social media a number of times already. This is going to be a good time. So check that out. But going forward, first match is going to be later that week against Seton Hall, which is a Big East competitor. This is a big time match, and they're coming to Ogden. We've got a lot of good out of conference matches coming up. Not just in this week, but also in the weeks to come before conference play begins. Talk to me a little bit about that. There's a lot of really good teams. Utah, Brigham Young, UVU's coming to Ogden. These are all tournament teams last year. Talk to us a little bit about how that feels. And it feels like, obviously this goes into a lot of teams. This all gets figured out before, but it feels like this program is really starting to take off.
Yeah, I think for sure it's the most competitive non-conference schedule I've ever put together. BYU, Utah, they were tournament teams. Utah Valley was a tournament team last year. Kansas State, I think, if they would have gone to 64 teams instead of 32, they would have been a tournament team. Omaha is top 3 in the Summit League, which is a really good league. And then you get to play Michigan State at BYU, and that's a huge Big Ten opponent that I've seen them on film. They're strong, they're athletic. It's a legitimate volleyball team, and Utah State's getting better. I know Rob Nielsen really well up there, and so Utah State's going to be more competitive than they've been in the past. So it's for sure a really competitive schedule, and it's going to test our merit, test our how we look at things and our mindset, and hopefully prepare us for, I think, what's going to be a really strong and tough conference season, because we can't sneak up on anybody anymore. And for sure, when you have that number 1 preseason ranking, everybody's going to come bring their best against you.
Yeah, they certainly are. And good points. Going to be facing Michigan State, a Big Ten team. Big Ten, arguably one of the best volleyball conferences in the country. Facing Wisconsin last year. Nebraska has been known to be a powerhouse. The Michigan State coming from there, like it's a good conference, and you'll get an opportunity to play them on a floor that you're familiar with. Your alma mater. So it'll be a good weekend.
Yeah, it always brings back memories when we get to be in the field house from my playing days, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So good opportunities for the Wildcats to kind of see what they can do going forward. But I want to talk a little bit more about the conference schedule, because we'll be going back to a traditional schedule this year. Wildcats will be traveling, facing somebody home. It will not be this series the way it is. And so going back to more traditional schedule, getting you, I guess, back to your normal workflow. I mean, you've been doing something else for the last 6 months. Is it tough getting back to that normal, or will it be old hat, like, oh yeah, this is the way we usually do it?
I mean, the schedule last year was extremely difficult. Playing back to back is not an easy thing to do for our players' bodies. And so to have that extra day in between to prep and to recover is going to be, I think, a welcome change. The problem is you get to play. Maybe you don't get to play Sacramento State on your floor 2 nights in a row, but in the flip side, it's not nice not to go to Northern Colorado and play them both nights. And so I think it has its pros and cons, but overall it's going to be nice to get back to a normal flow. We only play 16 games this season instead of 18 like we've done in the past, but I think it's going to set us up nicely to have a good competitive balance in our league, and hopefully get the best team in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. And hopefully what that means is going forward that the results of last year's tournament, and if should the Wildcats make their way back to the NCAA tournament, which it looks like Wildcats should be a favorites for such a thing, could equal some more favorable seeding and a deeper run this year. So it's good, I think, having not only a stiffer non-conference, but also a good conference to play your matches in.
Oh, for sure. And that's why we went and scheduled a pretty competitive non-conference, was in hopes that if we can get some wins here and there, that will facilitate a better conversation of what type of volleyball team we are nationally, what type of team we are, and hopefully get us a maybe more favorable matchup than what normally we would have, is probably go down and play BYU or go down and play Utah. But maybe we get to go somewhere else and play someone similar to us. That'd be nice.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about some of the new faces. You noted that Caroline Broadhead, who was a starter, not with the program anymore, which is, I think, a big loss. She was a big contributor, but there are some new faces coming in. The first one I wanted to talk about was we have a transfer from Southern Mississippi, Kess Krutzinger. Can you tell us a little bit about the story? How did Kess get on the radar? How did this come to be? And now she's going to be playing in a Wildcat uniform.
Yeah, so Kess, it's kind of a weird story. So Kess got in the transfer portals at Southern Miss pretty early last year during the season. She didn't play last year. She had some issues at the previous institution and had an injury, and so she hit the portal. We reached out to her because Caroline told us she wasn't going to come back the next year, which was fine. She did what she was supposed to do, and she respected the program, and we will always respect her for the decisions that she made. It was just a personal decision that she made, that she was done playing volleyball. And so we started looking at the portal, and Kess kind of popped up, and we saw some film of her when she was playing at Southern Miss and a highlight film from high school. And we shot an email out to her. And ironically, when I was at Utah State, I was kind of recruiting her older sister. And so for some reason, they still remembered me, and we got in contact. We did some Zoom meetings with her and her parents, and then she committed. It was a really fast commitment, and she was excited about coming closer to home because she's from Colorado, and she's really fast. She has a really dynamic arm, and so we're hoping that she kind of fills in nicely for the shoes that Caroline left, because she did leave some big ones. Caroline was a really good addition to us last year, and we were excited about the future for her. But now we got to move on, and Kess hopefully will fill that role along with Liana Woodley and Bailey Bodley. One of those three are right now competing and trying to earn that starting slot.
Yeah, and so a couple of stats on Kess's season back in 2019, because like you said, she did not play in the spring. 184 kills, 253 hitting percentage. That was second behind one of their best players as a freshman. So I think a lot to like.
Yeah, and I think she also finished second on the team in kills. That was a very middle heavy volleyball team that she played on, and so everybody was kind of amping up against her. So we'd like to think surrounding her with maybe some more powerful outside hitters will open that up for her a little bit.
Certainly. A couple of other names I wanted to ask you about, because there are a lot of freshmen, a couple of redshirt freshmen, and also true freshmen coming into the roster now, which I think is a good opportunity. The seniors are back for one last go. It's really going to be something. And so a couple of them to note, you talked a little bit about, and Brooklyn Frederick will be coming in, playing outside hitter, Kaiten White as well. Talk to us a little bit about them. How did they get on your radar? Obviously, they're new recruits. Maybe give us insights on how they got on your radar and what you expect from them.
Yeah, it's kind of Brooklyn, we saw her play. So we went out to Kansas City and watched a big tournament out there right before COVID shut everything down. And we saw Brooklyn play really shortly and was really impressed with her. We thought she moved a lot like Danny Ney in a lot of ways. And so we were really excited about her. She's a little more raw than what Danny was when she came in. Danny was a pretty exceptional volleyball player all the way around. But Brooklyn has very similar body movements, and has a really nice arm. So we started communicating with her through Zoom when COVID kind of hit and shut us all down, and we decided to offer her, and she accepted, and and we're excited. She comes from a family where she had two older sisters that played collegiate athletics. One was a swimmer at Boise State, and one actually played soccer at University of Idaho. So she's no stranger to what it's like to be a college athlete. So we're excited about what she's going to provide in that outside hitter role. Hopefully, after Rylan leaves, can compete and fill in nicely with what the shoes that Rylan leaves, because those are going to be huge shoes. But she's a big, strong kid, tall, has a good arm. Kaiten is a kid that from Reno, another kid that we just saw through Zoom, but she has a live arm. She's a little more raw than Brooklyn in some way, shape, or form, but she's really competitive, and Barry has a really good work ethic about her. She really wants to be successful and good. So that was a huge thing for us. And Bailey Bodley, who's a freshman who came in, we knew her for a while, and we saw her play a lot. And so we're pretty fortunate, I think, to get those three right off the bat, those three big hitters.
Yeah, especially an opportunity to have some time playing, of course, with Danny Ney and Rylan Adams, an All-American last season. Big opportunity for them as they develop into Division I college athletes to learn from some of the best in the business.
For sure. And that's really what those older kids are doing. They're doing a tremendous job right now trying to mentor the younger players. I don't think we've ever been as good at that as we are right now. Rylan is a really good mentor, and Ash and Sam are really kind of sharing everybody what it's like to be a Weber State volleyball player. And there's some growing pains. There's a lot of growing pains with these kids, but it's good. It's going to help them be stronger and tougher, and hopefully help us get better as we enter the conference.
Yeah. Last question is about the libero position. A couple of freshmen there as well coming in, Marley Rossello and Charlie Bouquet. From what I understand, Marley is redshirt, but Charlie is true freshman. Is that right?
They're actually both the same age. Marley graduated early, and well, actually, it's kind of funny because Charlie's really actually quite young. But Marley and Charlie are graduated the same year. Marley just graduated a semester early and was here with us in January last semester. And then Charlie just got here in June. And so they're going to be freshmen, true freshmen, because Marley couldn't play last season because of NCAA rules. But so they're both going to be true freshmen. And yeah, they're competing right now. They're trying to figure out how to pass the volleyball. And Michaela Sorensen's a tall order to try to beat out right now. She's pretty elite in a lot of aspects, but we also have hopes maybe Michaela becomes an outside hitter in the future. And so their goal is to try to be as good as Michaela in the serve receive and defensive game.
Yeah, Michaela, very elite at the libero position and just doing kind of what she was asked to do last season. So not surprising there. It's tough to come from, especially the experience that she got playing, at that position. So it'll be a battle. And man, I can't wait to see the videos because I'm sure it's amazing. I
mean, some of the stuff those three can do is pretty impressive for sure. And but Michaela is pretty heads and tails right now, winning that competition. But I think in the long run, Charlie and Marley are going to be tremendous liberos for us in the future.
All right. Jeremiah Larsen, I don't want to take all your time up tonight, so I think I'll leave it there. Appreciate you taking some time to talk with us a little bit about the accolades from last season, of course, but then also about the non-conference schedule, the upcoming conference schedule, the new faces that folks will be seeing in the Swenson gym. I'm sure would be remiss without plugging season tickets, folks. If you haven't had the opportunity to get season tickets to see these ladies play this weekend or throughout the season, do it, because this year is going to be special in the Swenson. Take an opportunity and get down there as much as you possibly can.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. Come see the purple and white. It's going to be fun. You'll get to see all these freshmen that might not play a ton, but you'll get a good glimpse of where our program's going as a collective whole. And some of the volleyball that's being played right now is pretty impressive.
Yeah. So reminder on that. It will be Monday night, the Swenson gym, I think 6:30 start time. Do I have that right?
I think it's 6 o'clock. So
6 o'clock. Oh, that's right. The alumni game on Friday is 6:30. 6 o'clock for the purple and white match on Monday night in the Swenson gym. It's free. Come on down, see these folks play. Coach Jeremiah Larsen, thank you again for your time here on Weber State Weekly.
You're the man. Appreciate it.